All right, Josh, let's take a look at your paper next. Start with MLA format. So up here looks good, although this is a different font than the rest of your paper, so make sure you change that. This is all good except my name goes first, class goes second. I'm the second most important thing in this paper. Title is weak. I understand that it fits perfectly with your paper, but it is a weak title. All right, so you start with the idea of getting older and starting to get more freedom to form your true self. I actually think this is closer to your thesis statement. The idea of your freedom is actually forming who you truly are. Um, and it works much better as a thesis statement than this because this is more of your topic, which would move up a little bit. This is actually closer to your thesis statement. So think about moving that. So you have our only true life is in the future. Then you'd after this want to do an in-text citation and you would use Orwell on the page number. And then start a whole new sentence where you say, in the book, this is what the question or the quote is about, and then relate it to your high school life. And the fact that freedom comes with age, which I think is important. With age responsibility, with age comes responsibility, and getting my license comes with the opportunity to start driving. So a lot of this is about driving, which I think it needs to be more clear what your main points are going to be. You do not need commas around I knew. For a few people I knew in the summer. This is a sentence fragment. It's not a complete sentence, so you need to fix that as well. And then I already said you need to fix this. So a couple of things to fix there in that quick little introduction. All right, Josh, with your first paragraph about driving, we need to talk a little bit about punctuation and maybe ultimately what you're learning about this. So getting my license, no comma, gave me the ability to have the freedom of driving by myself wherever my heart desired. This is a new sentence, so this is a run-on sentence. It was empowering. So semicolon, comma, conjunction, new sentence, something. My parents no longer needed to transport me, so on and so forth. Because, anyways, make sure you fix that. So you go on to talk a little bit about what driving has done for you, which is good. You have give lots of details. And about your friends and being able to drive your friends, especially after you're 17, and what it's done for you, which is fine. So all of this is fine, but remember this whole thing is about what you learned in high school and how that's affected your life. And I'm not sure you've gotten to that point yet where you're really diving into the concept of being able to drive. This is how it really affected my, this is the message. And again, we talked about having a stronger message at the beginning with that thesis statement. But what is the true message of this experience and this freedom that you're getting? What is it teaching you about maybe life lessons later on? Or because talking about the idea of having confidence in myself, which I think is important. And maybe that's the theme that you want to go with, the idea of if you have confidence in yourself, because we talked about the theme of forming your true self. Maybe it's being a more confident person overall. Anyways, so my driver's license, that's going to be have a apostrophe in there, so you're going to fix that. Driver's license, fix that. So make sure you fix those little things. There's a homophone error. Can't believe we just went over homophones, Josh. Invite me over to their house, Their, their house. This one is correct, but this one is incorrect. Got to fix that. Make sure you have a strong transition statement to the next paragraph as well. Want to make sure that these two things are getting tied together as you talk about buying whatever video games you want. All right, so again, I would argue a little bit with this one too. Your paragraph's about being able to buy or watch explicit material or, R-rated material. But is this really a reflection back on your high school life? Like, going to R-rated movies and buying mature video games, is that really something when you think about reflecting back on your high school life is really important to you? Now, I understand we talked about this concept already about, the idea of you learning something. What you've mostly learned is about, getting older and having these freedoms, but I still think you got to reflect back on what it means to you. Now, I actually like that you brought around the idea that you can now have an opinion on something, and it's helping you form that opinion. And again, we talked about the concept of confidence in the last paragraph. This is a confidence thing, that maybe you're gaining confidence with um, your opinions or something like that. Whether that is an incorrect um, homophone, so make sure you use the other whether. Parents' approval, make sure you know that that is a possessive parent, so you need a apostrophe in there. With these freedoms comes responsibility and trust for my parents. That is one thing I don't want to lose. So this is a whole new sentence. There's another run-on sentence there. And then talking about getting that money, which I think I would probably flip-flop. Like driving led you to have more freedom to mow lawns, which led you to have money to buy video games and see movies. I think you probably need to flip-flop the order of these paragraphs as well. All right, so here we go with your money. All right, so now we talk about mowing lawns and spending money, which again, start off with a strong topic sentence because it's really about mowing lawns to earn cash. And what did you ultimately learn about mowing lawns? What did that gain for you? Other than freedom, what did it gain for you? And I understand the concept of freedom, but I'm not sure that's really a lesson that you're learning in here. Anyways, you go through, you have a lot of information in here, but maybe focus on just the mowing, and that leads into a paragraph about like what you can spend your money on. I don't know. There seems to be a couple different things in here that you might want to separate out a little bit. Make sure you capitalize silly things. Make sure you capitalize I as you're writing. But other than that, it's a fairly solid paragraph. Make sure that you're not repeating yourself a lot. I feel like you say the word freedom a ton in here. And if I count up the number of times, you say freedom or freedoms, it might be overwhelming. So maybe think about changing up the language, or individuality, or something like that you can switch out of, because it seems like you're using that word a lot in here overall. So make sure you focus on strictly on the mowing part about it. All right, so this last paragraph is essentially about the freedom to take whatever classes you wanted, which is good. But you never really talk about the classes that you're taking that allows you that freedom, and maybe are the classes that you're taking going to help you in the future. Being able to choose those classes, no comma, kept me more focused on the important classes that were harder for me. You do talk about auto welding and weight training, but again, explain how those help you. You're repeating yourself here. And then you talk about the idea of your opportunities that you have, which is a direct result of that is fine. But again, reflect. Why is this significant? Why is this important? And I understand that you talk a little bit about how you can help your parents now, and so on and so forth, and it helps you focus on your other classes. But remember, you're reflecting back on your high school experience and coming up with a message about it, and I'm not sure what the message is about this paragraph. And then be careful. I think it was the last paragraph. Be careful with your that you don't add those in there, because that's changing point of view on you. You can't do this. This is a young man's freedom if it's singular, or this is every young man's freedom. I don't know, something. Change it up as far as making that clear. Alright, so remember, conclusion, we're going to repeat your thesis statement, which you need a better one anyways in the introduction. This is like factually what is happening, but not message wise what is happening, so you need to fix that. And you go through and you talk about your main points, which is good. You're repeating those. Driving yourself, make sure you get rid of extra spaces here. Mowing lawns to get your own spending money, so on and so forth. So you do a good job of repeating your main points, which is awesome. Again, this freedom was more responsibilities on me. This freedom put more responsibilities on me. This is a run-on sentence. I was a man. Use a semicolon here. The privilege is, here's a good example. The privilege is to take care of my car, my long customers, and my grades is empowering. So you already used is right here. So get rid of is right here. The privilege to take care of this stuff is empowering. Freedom, don't need an F here, is in is, I think you flip flop this, is in what is yet to come. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Seems like almost like a cliche, so you may want to explain that last little bit better. Works cited, make sure this is italicized or underlined right here, but otherwise everything is okay. But you are a page short. You only made it to the 4th page, Josh, and we'd love to see you on the 5th page. So maybe think about all those things I've talked about with organization and reorganization, and maybe some of those will make sense to you for a rewrite.